Okay, so there's the road, and you'll see that there's two kinds of travel. Well, there's us, me, and I can easily, in the Raptor, I can easily, comfortably, safely, comparatively safely, go along at say 60 or maybe 80k, and that would be my way of traveling, because I'm traveling on the national highway and it's a clear road for the most part, because the traffic is very light. As you can see, we've just been passed by one vehicle there, which was a modern vehicle. That will be driven by someone who has no training. This is an observation rather than a criticism. But you'll see how the motorcyclists drive. They, for the most part, are completely crazy. There's me that can travel comfortably between, say, 50 or 60k and 80 if the road is really clear. But the motorcyclists have no training. They've taught themselves from being maybe 8 years old. Now, I don't think that that's unusual, because many Americans that are watching this who were brought up on a farm will have been driving a tractor and later a motorcycle on the farm property when they were 6 or 8 years old. That's the fact of rural life, and it's the same here. And so what you have is what we've got now. Look, we've got a motorcycle. We've got we're in behind a tricycle, which I call a commercial tricycle. That's what they move. They move everything from pigs to goods in a tricycle like that. And the one in front was a tricycle that's full of people, and it came onto our road, our way of right, our right of way, in exactly the way that I've just described. He just pulled out. If there's space to pull out, they don't judge the speed of the vehicle which they may be pulling out in front of. And obviously, if a vehicle travelling along at 60 or 80, the distance is, to all intents and purposes, the distance is less, because it's going to arrive there sooner, isn't it? But they don't worry about that, and they pull out. Now the thing is that actually is okay, because it's the rule. That is how people pull out onto the national highway. They pull out without due care and attention. See, I'm using all the foreigner terminology now. They're driving without due care and attention. And if in the Philippines, in the province, which is where we are now, Bohol, a small island, a smaller island than Cebu, and the rule is here. Now, if they had so many cops on the road, this would not be happening, because the cops would have to find something to do, and they'd have their what we always rumoured as they've got their quotas to do, haven't they? So they've got to pull up so many people, give them a citation to show that they're not sitting in the donut shop, which they do a lot of in America. I don't have quite so many donut shops in the UK, but here we are, and you can see that the truck will be very slow. It's got its left-hand indicator going, but that's probably just forgotten. And it probably will turn right. Left-hand indicator turning right, because that's the road that goes to the terminal for the buses. Now here's somebody driving a modern truck, and they won't actually, they'll have been self-taught, or their brother-in-law or their brother or their father will have taught them how to drive, but there's no emphasis at all on road sense and courtesy on the road, not pulling out in front of someone so that they have to brake. All of these things are not, they don't exist here. Now, you would have if I was driving a van, if I was a van driver, I would have been fearless in overtaking at high speed in this very crowded on both sides of the road. Filipinos have a passion for double parking. A van driver would drive through there fearlessly at high speed because the road itself looked clear. But I know that anything could happen in that crowded situation and you'll have nowhere to go. You will be killing somebody, which the van drivers do, even though they do a great job. And we're passing now the local jail and the local hall of justice where some cases are heard. And we'll be getting down to the main thoroughfare into Taliban. So that all of this now has all been improved lately. So we went through months and months of this road being extended on both sides as much as possible, and it has made a great deal of difference. Right now we don't generally have power, so the traffic light is out. This is the only traffic light in Taliban. It's very funny because we have what are called traffic enforcers, which actually is a very harsh way to describe the men who do that job here in Taliban, because they're usually extremely polite. There's only one that has ever said to me, didn't you see the no parking sign when I parked in my usual place where they overlook that I'm parking there? But even if I'm parking there and they want me to move or they want me to do something, they come over and they're very, very polite and say, "Sir, would you mind putting your hazard warning lights on?" So I'm parking there outside Jollibee and they want me to put my hazard lights on. No big deal. Now here you'll begin to see how the tricycles rule the road here. And the way they park is a hazard. According to foreigner thinking, it's a hazard. See, now this is very good because that tricycle we're just passing now has actually parked off the road. But that's not the way that it usually happens. And that one as well. You see, and even this one as well. It's like that thing of you have a knock in the engine on your car, you take it in and it's there, it torments you night and day, and you take it into the mechanic and he takes it for a drive and there's not a sound. Isn't that always the way? So now everybody's behaving themselves, and I'm at BP Coffee now, so I'm actually going to park and have a breakfast. It's 10:35. As I say, I dropped everybody off, so did all my chores. I have to go to the bank because the last time that I went to the ATM machine, it shortchanged me by 10,000 pesos. The transaction went through, but the money didn't come out. It returned my card and says, thank you for allowing us to serve you," or some other such phrase, and they didn't pay me the 10,000. Well, I went into the bank as soon as I could, which was a few days later. Happened over the weekend, doesn't it always? And I reported it, and the bank are very, very kind. We're in there every day, taking out wages for workers and paying for materials in cash and so on. So they know us very well. Saw the manager, he filled out all of the forms for me and said, if you really want to, you can go into your other bank that has this card and tell them about it, but it is going to be recorded. And now apparently that's Metro Bank, and they've sent a message through to us saying it would be wise, I don't suppose this is the way they put it, but it would be wise to go into BDO and confirm that there is 10,000 owing. I don't know why, I don't know how the ATM procedure, how it works here. There's a process that it goes through, obviously. Now I would have thought that they would know at the end of the day that there was 10,000 that was not accounted for, but apparently it doesn't work that way. And so now I have to go down to the BDO, and this is something that if you come out here as a visitor, you might certainly find you are at the brunt of, if you wish. So if you do go, just a word to the wise, somebody else told me this, if you go there and you push in your withdrawal for 10,000 and it does everything but give you the money, then what you do is you immediately put in another, not another cash withdrawal, if you don't want to trust it again. But what you can do is you can put in, well, what I always do, I have a way that I do it. I go in, put my card in, and I ask for a balance, and I get a copy. I get a receipt. So it shows, if it shows say 50,000, shows 50,000, and then you make your withdrawal and you put in to withdraw 10,000 and it doesn't pay you. So now you go in straight away and you ask for a balance. Now, as I did when this happened to me a few days ago, I did exactly that. Make the balance first, then try a withdrawal, and then straight away when it didn't work, I pressed and got a balance again, and it showed that the total was 10,000 less than the first receipt that I got. So now when I go into the bank, I've got 3 receipts, and one gives the balance, let's say it was 50, one gives the balance of 50, then a withdrawal showing 10, and then a balance again showing that 10 is missing. So it's not showing 50 anymore, it's showing 40, and yet I haven't had any money. Now when I go into my bank, which is just down the road, I'll be able to show them this, and it will in some way verify what's happening. And eventually I'll get the 10,000 back, which is okay if you can afford to do that. And sometimes you can't. That's enough from me. I gotta have breakfast. Bye for now.